What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. And what we got here today is the TOPSKY F7X V2 1280 by 720p resolution, 42-degree field of view, 2D, 3D, 5.8 gigahertz 40 channel FPV goggles in the camouflage finish. Now, there's a lot of good stuff about this FPV goggles as well as some bad stuff about this FPV goggles. So let's go ahead and dive in and check out some of the good stuff about this FPV goggles first. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the fit. It fits on your face very, very well. It has this Cup Faceplate, silicone style soft rubber material that fits just perfectly on your face. As you can see, if you have like a flat face, it will contour around that flat face. And if you have a pointy face, narrow face, it will contour around your pointy, narrow face. Now, it is made out of this nice, soft silicone material, and it just kind of clips on around the faceplate area, and it's easily removable. And it also comes with this removable Velcro, kind of like a felt material, and they give you another set of those too as well. So it is a very, very nice fit on your face. Okay, and light leakage. There is just about absolutely no light leakage as well, because it contours and fits around your face so well. There is, however, a slight light leakage coming in from the top. As you can see, there's a little gap right here. But once you put it on your face, you kind of smash that area in. So there is just about absolutely 99.9% no light leakage. Okay, so here is the battery. The battery is a 7.4 volt 2200 milliamp size battery, supposed to give you a runtime of about 3 to 4 hours. And there is a battery level indicator with a push button, and there's 4 bars to indicate the battery level. And it also has this barrel style connector, and it is compatible with the Fat Sharks. And check out these indentations on the side of the battery for your head strap. So when you put it on, it goes on there nice and secure, and it will not slide off. All right, so taking a look at the FPV goggles from the top, as you can see, we have the anti-fog fan, and it also has a switch for it right below it. And on this FPV goggles, you turn on the anti-fog fan, and when you turn it off after about 30 seconds of use, or how many seconds or minutes of use, it turns off. It doesn't continue until you take the battery off. So that is another good thing about this anti-fog fan. Now, let's go over some of the buttons like real quick. There's a channel up button, channel down button. This is a joystick type button, 5 position, and it is the mode control button. And this one here is the same style of button, and it is the DVR control button. Here's a volume up button and a volume down button. And when we take a look at the bottom of the FPV goggles, that's the on and off switch for the anti-fog fan. And there's the IPD adjusters. There is a data connector, kind of like that PS2 style data connector. There's an audio video in, and there's the DC input for your barrel connector from your battery. And there is an RX on off switch as well, HDMI micro connector, and a headphone jack. All right, so taking a look at the front of the FPV goggles here is very nice looking. It's got that nice camouflage design, and it has some smooth texture finish as well. There's some ventilation holes right up in the front, and there's 2 compartments, one here for the receiver and on the other side for the head tracking device. And if you look close, there is the micro SD card slot, in which I already have a micro SD card, and it holds up to a 32 gigabyte micro SD card. And the good news is it records in 16:9, and it also has a playback mode as well. So opening up this receiver compartment, there's the receiver. Now, in the product page, it describes this unit as having diversity receivers, but the model that I received came with a single receiver unit. And here is the bay for the head tracking, and there is the connections where you can pin your head tracking device right in there. It does not come with it. It is sold separately. the good news is you can still access the micro SD card from the outside with the head tracking device cover in place. All right, so there's this display sensor that comes with this unit, and what it is you can have this thing plugged in, it will still not turn on. This needs to be blacked out and the display will turn on. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. For example, if you have this goggles on and you leave it on your head, then the display will still be on. We are just used to unplugging it. So let me go ahead and show you what that kind of looks like here. Let me go ahead and plug in the power. And as you can see, the display did not light up. We see that the power indicator light is on right here on the top. And oh, check it out, the display did come on. So let's go ahead and wait until the display turns off. Hopefully it does. Okay, it's supposed to turn off when the light, there you go, it turned off now because it senses light. So if you are the type of person to use these FPV goggles and you hang it around your neck when you're not in use, or you take it off and put it on the table when you're not in use, you don't really have to unplug it because the display turns off. But if you're the type of person to leave the FPV goggles still on your forehead, above your forehead sometimes, the display will still be on. So let's check this out. I cover it and look at that. The display comes on and I open it up and shine it to the light. The display turns off. And another good thing is that the display supports 16:9 or 4:3. But it only records in 16:9. All right, so let's go over some of the stuff that this FPV goggles come with. There's a wall charger for the battery, and there's a HDMI mini to HDMI micro, and we already seen this one here, another faceplate foam or felt material with Velcro, and the audio video jack. And we also get this lens cleaner, a pretty big size lens cleaner, and we got the instruction booklet as well as a quick instruction guide and some other paper describing some social network sites. And also we got the battery, and we also got this mushroom antenna. Now all of that comes inside of this nice zippered case. It comes in, and this is where the receiver came in, the single antenna receiver, single module receiver. And check this case out. I'm going to go ahead and place everything in the case, and this is a very nice case, fits everything. You're going to remove the antenna when you put it in the case, and I can leave the battery attached to the FPV goggles. Now there is a lot of space right here where you can even put the wall charger. You can also put all of these cords in here, and you can also put the extra faceplate. Since it has Velcro, it will kind of adhere to the top, under part of the top of the case, just like that. And the antenna, all this fits in here. Cleaning cloth, everything will fit in there, and I am able to zip it all up. So that is just fantastic of a case. Okay, so now that we have talked about some of the good stuff about this FPV goggles, let's go on and move on to some of the bad stuff about this FPV goggles. And one of the things that I want to say that is really bad is the lens itself. Now I got the cleaning cloth out, and I did clean the lens very well. So let me go ahead and clean it again. I want to remove all kinds of fingerprints and whatnot from the lens. So let's go on and move closer in and check out the lens. All right, so as you can see, there's kind of a film on the inside. I've cleaned the outside, but there's still kind of that kind of hazy film on the inside. As you can see, kind of rainbow colored texture to it on the inside. And look at the perimeter of the lens. You see that there's the glue that is used to stick that lens onto this black plastic that the IPD adjuster is on. And let's look at the other side here as well, and it is the same thing just about. See, kind of like a blurriness to it. It's not very clear. Now, look on the inside, on the bottom, you see some kind of a reflective device, kind of like a mirror. And look on the top here as well. There's like a mirror on the top as well. So this thing has kind of a reflected vision. So we're not looking at the display directly. We're kind of looking at a reflected display. So that is kind of funky as well. And another bad thing about this goggles, it's not a big deal. And a lot of FPV goggles do not have this as well. It does not have a micro USB connection port for data transfer. So you're always going to have to take that micro SD card out and connect it to your computer and plug it back in. It is impossible to take it out with your fingertips just about, but you can use a flathead screwdriver to get in there and push it in, and it is spring loaded, so it's okay. Okay, so I've had this FPV goggles and I flew a few different types of quadcopters with it already, both indoors and outdoors. And there was a couple of incidents that kind of is disheartening. I'm gonna call it whiteouts, because what it is I don't know if the white balance is trying to refocus or redo its settings or whatever, but all of a sudden while I'm flying, it'll just go white out. It's kind of like a, best way to describe it is like there's a nuclear blast and there's this white light all of a sudden, and it diminishes everything that you are looking at, and it comes back. It is just a split second, but if you are in some tight quarters, that could really be bad. It happened to me on indoors as well as outdoors, so that is one of the things that happened to me with these FPV goggles. Okay, so you've seen some of the bad stuff, a lot of the good stuff, a few of the bad stuff. What I'm going to be showing you is another one of the bad stuff. I have a little tape covering up that display sensor so it'll stay on. I don't have to constantly put my finger on it to show you. We're going to do the auto search, and by pressing one of these channel up or channel down button and long pressing it, it will do an auto search, and it will cycle through the 40 channels, and it will lock on to the strongest RF signal and stop there. But it takes a very long time. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So let me go ahead and plug in a quadcopter here with an FPV camera, pointing it at the box. I'm going to go ahead and power up the FPV goggles. And we should have power. Yes, we have power. So let's go on in and try to focus in on that. Very hard for me to focus in on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take off my camera, and I'm going to go and put it directly up against the lens here. So bear with me here. All right. Okay. I'm going to have to rotate it so we can get right up on in there. All right, bear with me. Let me get it. There we go. There's the display. We are in audio, video, and in 2D. So let me go ahead and see if I can focus in on that a little bit better. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm pressing one of the buttons. So we're going to do the auto search and look for the channel, the frequency of that little quadcopter. I'm long pressing it. There you go. As you can see on the left there, it is searching the channels. Yeah, that is how long it takes. And it's flashing 5805 constantly. Not sure why it's doing that. Let me go ahead and press the other button. Okay, here we go. It is starting to scoot. There it is. Now, that is how long it took. Oh no, it's still searching. Yeah, it hasn't gone through the entire 40 channels. So, I'm just going to let it play out. I know it's taking a long time here, but this is very frustrating when you're out on the field and you're trying to connect and get to the frequency and channel really quick. Using the auto search is not your answer. So it is actually faster to manually go up and down by pressing the channel up and down until you hit the right frequency and channel. It is a lot quicker than using this auto search function. So as you can see, it is taking a very, very long time. Oh my Lord. And sometimes it doesn't even stop at the correct channel frequency, as you can see. And it goes again. So it is very frustrating in that part. Okay, that's it. I'm going to stop it right here. So we didn't even get to the channel that is supposed to be the strongest RF signal. All right, so now that we have seen some of the good stuff and some of the bad stuff about these FPV goggles, now let's go and take a look at the experience that I had when I took this out to the field. All right, here we go. We got the Fury Bee Fire Dancer ready to go. So let's check it out and see if I can fly it with these goggles here. Okay, things are looking pretty decent, actually. Whoa. What was that? It just went white. I wonder if it came out on the recording. Yeah, everything just went white for a split second there. Holy cow. I mean, like, to the max white. You couldn't really make out anything. So if that happens in a critical spot, oh my God. But everything is looking very nice, very clear. And I am in focus. I had to play with the IPD adjusters until I got it just right. And it was kind of tricky. But now I got it and everything is looking pretty decent. Yeah, not bad actually. I thought it was going to be worse. Because I did try to fly a tiny hoop indoors and it was okay, but it was a very dizzying experience. I was kind of dizzy all the way throughout the flight. I guess out here in the wide open, things are a little bit clearer. So I'm able to kind of make out a little bit better. I'm so used to using my Headplay SE goggles that every time I try these Fat Shark equivalent goggles, it takes me a little while to get used to it. However, I've been using the Sky Zones and the Amway goggles. Those are really, really nice goggles, very clear. But they don't record in 16:9, and that is the reason why I don't use them as much. And this one here records in 16:9, which is just fabulous. I wonder if there's a rabbit in there. Okay, getting more comfortable with these goggles now, I guess. Yep, you can fly with these goggles. Just takes a little bit of time getting used to them. But if I compare these to the Sky Zones or the Amway goggles, I would much more prefer to use the Amways or the Sky Zones than this one here for the actual flight. But because this one records in 16:9, I think I'm going to keep these as a backup to my Headplay SE goggles in case that one doesn't record all of a sudden. Alright, gonna bring it in for landing. Everything kind of went dark right now. Wonder if that shows up on the recording. Yeah, things just went darker. Maybe it's the voltage. I don't think that's the reason. Never happened to me before. Okay, let's bring it in for a landing here. Yeah, things are looking a little bit darker than how it was a little while ago. All right, so there you have it, guys. That is my testing and my review of the TOPSKY F7X V2 FPV goggles. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you again next time. Case closed.
By bit, creative imagination began with a new art form.